and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. On here I do artsy stuff, music, true crime, ASMR, and just whatever randomness feels right at the time. I'd love to share it all with you, so please boop that subscribe button. You know you want to. My name is Ashley Robin, and I am a full-time artist, shower singer, single mother, and true crime enthusiast, trying to find my place in the world of YouTube. I sometimes start my videos with rambling about analytics, life things, and just giving insight into who I am, but today, however, it's gonna be one of those days where I just don't do that. Some days, I think, we all just want to get right into it, and that's where my head is at today. This is True Crime Time Hop, a hyperfixation turned science experiment that I'm hoping to make into an actual thing that gains traction and sponsors and is monetized over time. In this series, we take a look at a prominent happening related to true crime from the past for each day. I'm giving it 30 days of posting daily and not promoting to prove to myself that I can show up consistently and learn the ropes before I put it out onto social media, then 30 days more of active promoting with the goal in mind of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube minimum, and some subscribers on my Patreon to support me continuing it and making this my full-time gig. To supplement my art career, of course. If it doesn't hit those numbers within the first 60 days, I will not be pursuing this any further, but so far I am enjoying it, and I do think it's a good idea. All that aside, let's get into today's True Crime Time Hop. We're in episode 9 already. Damn, time flies when you have no idea what you're doing. Warning, the following content may be disturbing to some audiences. If you may be triggered by talk of violence, murder, sexual assault, dead bodies, etc., please exit now and prioritize your mental health. Viewer discretion is advised. Derek Robbie was a bright and happy kid born on October 2nd, 1988. His parents, Dale and Doreen Robbie, raised their son along with 2 older siblings in Savona, New York. It was there where 4-year-old Derek asked his mother for permission to walk to his summer camp day program at nearby Savona Park by himself on August 2nd, 1993. His mother was understandably hesitant to let her baby go. She ultimately decided, however, to put her faith in the probability that he would arrive there safely, considering it was only a block away. He said, "I love you, Mommy," then skipped off down the sidewalk, eager to show her he was a big boy. Tragically, he would never be seen alive again. A few hours later, a storm started to blow in. Doreen drove over to the park to pick her little boy up so he wouldn't have to walk home in it. That was when she learned the anxiety-inducing fact that her son hadn't attended the camp that day. He never arrived. She immediately called the police, and within hours, Derek's tiny body was discovered not far from the park. He had been brutally killed, and his remains were left in the woods. The boy was beaten and strangled. A large rock was dropped on his head. He was sodomized with a stick, and his attacker then poured what was later determined to be Kool-Aid on the child's open wounds before leaving him there for scavenging animals to find. Across town, a 13-year-old boy was acting strangely. Eric Smith had red hair, freckles, and he wore glasses, which were all things that he was bullied for in school. He was also picked on for his ears sticking out and for being short. His home environment was an abusive one, which he would admit years later to being a contributing factor to the festering anger that grew inside him as he entered his teenage years. After it was reported that Derek's body was found, Eric began showing unusual levels of interest in the boy's death. He approached neighbor and family friend Marlene Haskell the night of the murder with questions that raised red flags. What if it was a kid that killed Robbie, he asked her. He also sought information about DNA evidence. Haskell, fearing that the boy may have been a witness to the slaying, informed his mother of his shift in behavior, and he was taken to the police station in case he had information that would help with the case. Eric denied having any knowledge or involvement to investigators initially, but it didn't take long for the truth to come out. Everyone was shocked as he turned to his mother in the interrogation room and said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I killed that little boy." Eric saw the little boy walking that day and had a sinister idea. he lured the trusting child into the woods, under the impression that he was showing him a shortcut. Then, when they were far enough off the beaten path for screams to go unheard, Eric started to take his rage out on his target. He was raised on abuse, and the cycle of violence continued through him. Smith told investigator John Hibsch that he enjoyed the attack. He admitted he had no ill will towards Robbie at all, and that, in his head, he was torturing the bullies that day. He was convicted of second-degree murder and charged as a juvenile, receiving the maximum sentence, 9 years to life in prison. He became eligible for parole in 2004. At his parole hearing, he finally expressed remorse for his actions, but his parole was denied over and over for years' worth of attempts. In February of 2022, after 28 years in prison, this young killer was paroled to Queens, New York. The victim's parents have expressed relief that they can now move on and heal without any further parole hearings to attend to oppose his release. Since he was paroled, he has gotten engaged to be married. His fiancée met him and fell in love with him while she was asking him a few questions during her studies to become a lawyer. Disturbingly, he plans to become a father. Today, January 22nd, he celebrates his first birthday as a free adult. He is turning 43. Happy frickin' birthday.